Hey Dals, welcome back to another video. It is me, your girl Briana Marie, and you're tuning into a basic brown beat. Yeah, everybody gets those, and I'll be like, why y'all keep getting those instead of color? But anyways, nonetheless, this is my cousin, and if y'all don't remember her, it was when I did her makeup for prom. I think I'm gonna post a video in the corner, but I snapped on that as well. However, let's get into these brows. Y'all already know that I'm going in with my brow gel, well, brow setter, not gel. Why I say it like that? Brow setters. And I went ahead and fluffed her brows up and laid them down because y'all know I do not like when brows move around. After I did that, I waited for the brow setter to dry. You always have to wait for the brow setter to dry, because if not, what's going to happen is if you put it on there wet, your powder is going to clump up and you're going to have to start over again. It's like no way around it. So wait till it dries and go ahead and start applying your powder. After I did that, I went ahead and dusted my powder off, and I went in with 3.75 in the front and number 4 towards the back. That pencil was the Benefit Precisely Brow Pencil, and when I tell y'all these are bomb, go get you some. I know they high, but still bomb. I also went ahead with concealer in the shade, what shade is this? I think it's a butterscotch. Yeah, butterscotch towards the back at the bottom of her brows, and then at the top of her brows I went ahead and used the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer, and this is in the shade 45P. I went ahead with that on the top and also towards the bottom of the brow and the front only though. Remember I told y'all butterscotch towards the back. Now I'm about to take these Noxzema anti-blemish pads and also primer. My glow recipe for primer, that is in the watermelon juice. Also I went in with the One Size matte primer, only in the areas that gets really oily. Sometimes you gotta like eyeball that with clients because some can be dry and some don't, but that's normally in the T-zone area where I'm putting it at right now. And I also went in with some milk primer spray to basically rehydrate her face. Now that I added the primers, I'm going to go ahead and start putting foundation on her face, only in the areas that I need, which are basically the whole face except for the under eye and also under the nose. You want to avoid those areas because you're going to start putting concealer. Right there I'm putting foundation on the sides of the nose as well, because you want to do that. You don't want too much concealer to be on the sides of the nose. For foundation, I did go ahead and mix Nars New Caledonia, which is my shade, and also I mixed Tahoe only because I don't have Macao. She's the perfect Macao shade. Y'all, I need to restock my foundations and I need to do ASAP, but my most common shades are New Caledonia, Numbia, and also Macao. Macao definitely is the one, in Tahoe. For concealer, I did go ahead and take my Bare Skin, and that was on the outer parts, and that was in the shade 45P, the same as I used for her brows. And also I used a Too Faced concealer in the shade Butterscotch. That was the only shades that I used as far as concealers on this one face. I didn't use any other one, or I didn't use a brighten concealer, just those concealers on her face. I'm so mad I didn't catch this part, but I did go ahead and set her under eye with the shade 20 from Maybeline, and I went ahead and just set the under eye with that. Now for all over the face, I did go ahead and take the darkest shade in the Mercier powder, and that is translucent medium deep, and I set her whole face with that. Now you don't technically have to add powder. This is supposed to be a quick beat. As far as pressed powder, on top of that you can just use the loose powder to set the whole face, or translucent loose powder, and let that be it, and go ahead and contour and do whatever you need to do. As far as the eyes, I did go ahead and add some concealer to the eyes. I think it was Butterscotch, and I set it with some powder. Now I did this back in the day, and I used to always do this with my colors or just any shadow that I use, but y'all, sometimes when you add too much powder, like I was doing back in the day, it would just get like too messy. So I just started using just regular base. But I love the old way, which is concealer and then powder. And then I added this color out of the 39A palette that I always use for my second transition onto her eye, and used a big fluffy brush to do that. And that was all that I added to her eye. And I did the same thing for her under eye. For bronzer, I did go ahead and take my Juvias Place bronzer, Duo palette in the shade Dark, and now I'm adding some Razin. I think it's either Razin, yeah, that's Razin blush from MAC, and I'm going to go ahead and now dust all the powder off. Once I dust this powder off, I'm going to spray, because it's supposed to be a quick beat, y'all. I sprayed with Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Skin Spray, and I also went ahead and set it with matte powder, well, matte spray, and that's for Milk, y'all. Always when y'all spray a mist, go ahead and back it up with a matte setting spray if you like that type of look. Now time for the lips. I did go ahead and add Colourpop's lip liner in Sunnyvale, and then for liquid lipstick, Anastasia Beverly Hills, I think in the shade Hollywood, and I went ahead and added some gloss from MAC and just some clear gloss. And y'all, this was the look. It's completed once I add this gold deposit on the nose. The only thing is, sometimes when your client cries, you don't know that until you see the playback. So my cousin, she was crying and kind of like messed the under eye up a little bit, but overall the look is still cute. My mama came in and curled the sides, and y'all, that is it. If y'all like tutorials like this, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.